All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Abhishek Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch several development projects in Jharkhand and Odisha today. Railway announces two-stage recruitment for over 13,000 posts. 27th New Delhi World Book Fair begins today. Government identifying sportspersons at very young age to nurture them to become world-class champions. In Germany, personal data of hundreds of politicians, including Chancellor Angela Merkel, leaked. And in Sydney Test, Australia were 140 for 2 in their first innings against India a short while ago. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Jharkhand and Odisha to launch several development projects in both the states today. In Jharkhand, Mr. Modi will unveil plaque to mark the laying of foundation stone of revival of North Koyal Mandal Dam project and Kanhar Stone Pipeline irrigation system. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the collective e-Greh Pravesh of 25,000 beneficiaries under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana through video conferencing. Mr. Modi will also address a public gathering. More from our correspondent.
Today is going to be a big day in history of irrigation in Jharkhand as Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay foundation stone for 6 big irrigation projects. Son Pipeline Canal Project for Garhwa, Mandal Dam on North Koyal River, Bater Beer of Palamu, Bai Maki and Ajnana Water Reservoir for Garhwa and Chatra and Brahmani Irrigation Project for West Singhbhum. All these projects will provide great impetus to development of agriculture in Jharkhand. Rajesh Sinha, Palamu, AIR News.
Later in the day, Prime Minister will proceed to Odisha. At Baripada, Mr. Modi will dedicate Balasore Haldia Durgapur section of LPG pipeline project of IOCL and the Balasore Multi-Model Logistic Park to the nation. Prime Minister will unveil plaque to mark the commencement of work for the development and conservation of Rasika Ray Temple at Ancient Fort at Haripur Garh. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone for the four-laning of various national highway projects and inaugurate 6 Passport Seva Kendras. Prime Minister will also address a public gathering at Baripada. A report.
As a part of Purvodaya to Bharatodaya, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given importance on development of eastern part of India. Today, Prime Minister is dedicating a number of projects in Odisha to the nation and laying foundation stones. The arrival of Prime Minister to tribal-dominated and mineral-rich district Mayurbhanj will boost the process of progress in state. Sudhanshu Dhara, AIR, Bhubaneswar.
Railways has announced recruitment for 13,487 posts of junior engineers IT, depot material superintendent and chemical and metallurgical assistant. The notification for the post has been issued on the Railway Recruitment Board website. Railways Ministry in a release said the last date for applications for this two-stage recruitment is 31st of this month. The ministry said these vacancies are spread over different railway zones and states, and candidates from all over India can apply against these vacancies. The qualifications to apply for junior engineers posts are 3 years diploma in specified disciplines or combination of various streams of the basic engineering disciplines from a recognized institution. Pakistan forces resorted to heavy mortar shelling and firing along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir last night. Defense sources said Pakistan Army started unprovoked firing and heavy mortar shelling targeting some forward Indian positions and civilian areas in Mankoti and Krishna Ghati sectors around 9 p.m. Troops guarding the borderline retaliated and intermittent exchange of fire continued till wee hours today. There is no report of any casualty or injury to the Indian side. Supreme Court has rejected the bail plea of Syed Shahid Yusuf, son of Hizbul Mujahideen founder and a specially designated global terrorist, Syed Salahuddin. The Apex Court said yesterday that the accused is not entitled to bail once the trial court has granted extension of time to the NIA to complete the investigation. Yusuf, who is currently in judicial custody, was arrested by the NIA on 24th of October 2017 from Budgam in central Kashmir. The NIA alleged that Yusuf had links with banned terrorist organization Hizbul Mujahideen and was collecting funds from a terrorist outfit in Saudi Arabia on the directions of his father. Enforcement Directorate ED has said that it has attached a factory in Thailand worth 13 crore rupees belonging to the absconding diamond jeweler Mehul Choksi. The agency said it has issued a provisional order for attachment under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The ED will soon get judicial requests for legal formalization of the attachment of the foreign-based asset. Mehul Choksi, his nephew and diamond jeweler Nirav Modi are being probed, cheating Punjab National Bank to the tune of 13,000 crore rupees. Both Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi are absconding since the case was registered by the ED and the CBI. The National Green Tribunal has imposed a fine of 100 crore rupees on Meghalaya government for its failure to curb illegal coal mining in the state. The amount of the fine has to be deposited with the Central Pollution Control Board within 2 months. The action comes after a high-level committee submitted an adverse report to a bench headed by NGT chairperson A.K. Goyal. The report stated that majority of the mines in the state are operating without a lease or license. At least 15 miners are trapped in the 370-foot deep illegal coal mine in Lumthari village of East Jayantia Hills district of Meghalaya since December 13. All efforts to pump the water out of flooded mine have been in vain. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website newsonair.nic.in. Sports Minister Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathore said government is trying to identify sportspersons at very young age so that they can be trained and nurtured to become world-class champions. He was addressing the closing ceremony of Mission Olympics Sports Meet 2019 organized by Police Families Welfare Society of Delhi Police in New Delhi yesterday. He said Sports Ministry will soon conduct physical tests for 2 crore youngsters aged between 8 and 12 years.
अब 2019 से 12 साल और 8 साल के बच्चों का फिजिकल टेस्ट पूरे देश के अंदर कराने की तैयारी चल रही है। हम तकरीबन 2 करोड़ बच्चों का हर साल फिजिकल टेस्ट करेंगे जो 8 साल के होंगे, 9 साल, 10 साल के होंगे और फिर हर साल उस उम्र पे हम सिलेक्शन करेंगे 1000 खिलाड़ियों का पूरे देश में और उनको 8 साल और 10 साल की उम्र में हम 5 लाख रुपए देना शुरू करेंगे 1000 खिलाड़ियों को और 8 साल तक लगातार देते रहेंगे ताकि जब वो 18 साल की उम्र पे पहुंचेंगे तब तक वो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय लेवल के खिलाड़ी बन चुके होंगे.
Colonel Rathore informed that the second Khelo India Games will be held in Pune this year from 9th of this month. In Uttar Pradesh, cold wave and foggy conditions continue to prevail across the state and western part is the most hit. Though the average minimum night temperature have gone up a few degrees at some places, but people are still shivering due to fall in day temperature and chilly winds. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
School timings have been changed in the state and district authorities have been instructed not to open school before 10 in the morning. In Bareilly district, schools up to 8th standard have been asked to remain closed till Monday. Meanwhile, Met Department has forecasted the rain and thunderstorm is likely at isolated places over eastern Uttar Pradesh and at a few places in western part of the state. It has also warned of hailstorm at isolated places over western Uttar Pradesh. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Himachal Pradesh, moderate to heavy snowfall may occur across the state over the next 48 hours. The Met Office has advised the residents and the tourists not to venture out. More from our correspondent.
People of Himachal Pradesh are reeling under intensive cold as temperature in many areas have dipped down below freezing point, especially in tribal areas. Met Office has issued warning of moderate to heavy snow in next 2 days. According to Met Office, most of the prominent tourist towns like Shimla, Narkanda, Kufri, Kalpa, Dalhousie and Manali are likely to have light to moderate spells of snowfall. The state government has issued warning not to venture out in mountainous tracks as it could be dangerous. Nandini Mittal, AIR News, Shimla.
In Gujarat, more than 19 lakh LPG connections have been given under Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana PMUJ, which provides free of cost LPG gas connection to poor women. Addressing the press conference at Ahmedabad, Executive Director of Indian Oil S.S. Lamba said that 87% of Ujjwala Yojana beneficiaries in the state have come back to refill LPG cylinder after release of connection and the average per capita consumption is 4.13 cylinders per year. He said oil marketing companies have introduced 5 kilogram refill option to the Ujjwala Yojana beneficiaries in which they can swap her 14.2 kilogram cylinder with 5 kilogram refill and vice versa. The 27th New Delhi World Book Fair will begin today at Pragati Maidan. Human Resources Development Minister Prakash Javadekar will inaugurate the 9-day annual event. The theme of this year is Readers with Special Needs. All India Radio is the radio partner for the fair. A report.
More than 600 publishers from across the country will display books at 1,350 stalls in the World Book Fair. This year, the book fair will focus on the reading needs of Divyangs. Tickets will be of 30 rupees for adults and 20 rupees for children. There will be free entry for students in school uniform and senior citizens. To mark the 158th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, an exhibition of books on and by Gandhi and his associates will be put at book fair. Over 20 countries including Canada, China, Sri Lanka and the US are participating in the foreign pavilion. With Anupam, Sheila, AI News, Delhi.
India has conveyed its continued support and commitment for the efforts of the Afghanistan government and its people to bring peace, security and prosperity in that country. National Security Advisor NSA Ajit Doval and the visiting NSA of Afghanistan Dr. Hamidullah Mohib met in New Delhi yesterday and exchanged views about the developments in Afghanistan. In a statement, External Affairs Ministry said, during the meeting, Mr. Doval mentioned that India supports all efforts for peace and reconciliation that are Afghan-owned, Afghan-led and Afghan-controlled. In Germany, hundreds of politicians, including Chancellor Angela Merkel, have fallen victim to a massive online leak of private data. A government spokesperson has said personal data and documents belonging to several politicians and public figures have been published on the internet. She added that a preliminary investigation indicated that no sensitive information or data from Merkel's office has been leaked. US President Donald Trump has said that he's prepared for a government shutdown for years if the funds for border wall with Mexico are not sanctioned by the Congress. The shutdown, now in its third week, has affected around 8 lakh federal workers who have been without pay since 22nd December. Trump said that federal workers affected by the shutdown supported him. And in cricket, Australia were 148 for 3 in their first innings of the fourth and final cricket test against India in Sydney a short while ago. Earlier, the hosts resumed their innings at the overnight score of 24 for no loss on the third day today. India is in a commanding position in the test after they declared their first inning at 622 for 7 on the second day yesterday. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Tanvi Taneja.
Thank you, Abhishek. Raging parliamentary debate over Rafale deal and the Supreme Court delaying verdict on the Ayodhya case are the stories that get prominent mention this morning. Rafale will bring Modi back as PM, says Nirmala, writes the Hindustan Times, adding in the subtext Rahul Gandhi's response as Congress will investigate the deal when it comes to power. The Tribune quotes Nirmala Sitharaman as saying, before sanctuary, Rafale will bring PM Modi back. Appropriate bench will hear Ayodhya appeals, says the Hindu, further quoting the Chief Justice of India as saying it will pass further orders on January the 10th. Lokpal search panel formed, government tells Supreme Court, writes the Hindu, about government's response to the Supreme Court over Lokpal issue. The Indian Express carries a picture of the award-winning journalists with the headline, the stronger journalism becomes, the brighter a democracy shines, says Rajnath Singh, adding 29 journalists honoured for work in print, broadcast and digital. On the Sabrimala fiasco, the Indian Express writes, now a woman from Sri Lanka makes it to Sabrimala temple. The Hindustan Times in another headline writes, Data Protection Bill could get Cabinet nod next week, informing about the bill's likely consideration next week. Quoting PM's response to National Register of Citizens NRC question, the DNA writes, no Indian will be left out of NRC, says Modi. And finally, do you have a clutter problem? As a cluttered home might be the reason why you are stressed, reports the Times of India of a study done at the DePaul University in Chicago by Professor Joseph Ferrari. And with that, it's back to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Tanvi. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch several development projects in Jharkhand and Odisha today. Railways announces two-stage recruitment for over 13,000 posts. 27th New Delhi World Book Fair begins today. Government identifying sportspersons at very young age to nurture them to become world-class champions. In Germany, personal data of hundreds of politicians, including Chancellor Angela Merkel, leaked. And in Sydney Test, Australia were 152 for 4 in their first innings against India a short while ago. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.nic.in. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.